5 on your side at 4. Focused on you.
As we go on the air, there's new concern about a deadly stretch of road in North St. Louis County. Tonight, police tell us they're taking a closer look at the dangers along Newhall's Ferry. Thanks for being here at 4. I'm Kay Quinn. That stretch of road that runs through the heart of North County has been the scene of repeated crashes over the past few years, including a deadly crash just this past week. 5 on your side's Diamond Palmer has reaction from neighbors and new data from the police department.
A memorial for Gary Bozeman is taking shape on Newhall's Ferry Road. Saturday, he died here at the intersection near Newcastle Drive. Today, St. Louis County Police tell us they know this street is dangerous and they're analyzing data on the number of crashes that happen along this road. 112. That's the number of crashes St. Louis County Police say happened on or intersecting Newhall's Ferry Road last year. Of those crashes, 33 people were injured and no deaths. This year, there have already been 15 crashes, resulting in 2 people injured and 1 death. Several of the crashes from last year and this year resulted in property damage. Business owners on Newhall's Ferry Road say they've witnessed not only car crashes, but high-speed chases and overall bad driving habits.
I just think they don't care. Yeah, that's the big thing. They just don't care. I mean, they're just trying to get to point A to point B as fast as possible. And I understand that, hey, you can be driving next to someone that's elderly, someone has a baby aboard, you know, who knows, you know, who you're driving by, but just be cautious of the people around you.
Residents I spoke to say they don't believe more police is the solution. They just want people to take on better driving habits. Reporting in Floresent, Diamond Palmer, 5 on your side.
Gary Bozeman was 71 years old. Police are actively investigating that crash. Right now, police are looking for the person who shot a man at a Floresent McDonald's. The gunfire also damaged the building on Shackelford Road Sunday afternoon. You can see the front door was shot out. The victim was taken to a hospital and is expected to be okay. No one else was hurt. The Melville Fire Protection District recently received an infant at its Safe Haven baby box. It's the first baby to be surrendered at the box. She was dropped off last Thursday, just a few hours old. First responders installed it back in August. It's the only one of its kind in Missouri. Mothers in crisis simply place the baby in the box and shut the door. Firefighters then collect the baby minutes later and take it to a local hospital. 5 on your side's Justina Coronel will have more on the next steps for this baby in live reports from Melville tonight at 5 and 6. And if you are a parent in need, you can reach counseling services and medical care by calling 1-866-99-BABY-1. All right, back to reality with another chilly day in the bi-state. A bit of a break from that springtime weather of last week. We are still above freezing, but that's not the case for everyone south of us. Here's a reminder, it's still winter. This is a look at Branson around 9 o'clock this morning. That region saw some heavy snowfall. Could have happened here. Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell joins us with the Weather First forecast. Kind of glad we missed out on this one, Scott.
Well, you know, this was one of those snows, kind of like what we had at the end of November, that was just off to the east and southeast, especially the metro area, where you had some brief areas that were a little bit higher in amounts. And so there have been some spots with 4 to 6 inches right along the Missouri-Arkansas border, but most of that snow that you saw earlier this morning in Branson has already melted. There's just a little bit left on the grassy areas, and none of that made its way close to St. Louis. Right now, the clearing line is advancing in and across the area, and we're starting to expect a pretty decent sunset tonight. That's a look out in St. Charles. Dry roads, a clearing sky. Those clouds have been rolling on through as the system slides by to our south. Yes, it's a pretty dynamic system with some heavy rain down towards Memphis and some pockets of heavier snow right along the Missouri-Arkansas border, even up towards Salem. Looks like they had a little bit of snow, but the dry air on the north side of this system has really impacted its ability to create precip. So we're looking at temperatures in the mid-40s around St. Louis. Just kind of looking at the cameras, that clearing trend working in across the area right now, and that will trend that way and continue through the overnight hours as the clearing line moves southeast. Spring-like weather for midweek, and then no significant rain or snow for the week ahead. But we'll look into the upcoming weekend, Kay, in just a few minutes and check on some changes coming by Saturday.
All right, we'll see you then. Thank you, Scott. After a covert operation, Israel says it rescued 2 more hostages from southern Gaza. Both were Israeli-Argentinian citizens. They were held hostage for 128 days. And while the operation was celebrated in Israel, Gaza reports a significant loss of life after Israeli forces launched those overnight strikes. Ivan Rodriguez reports.
A successful operation for Israel in the southern Gaza city of Rafah, with the latest rescue of 2 hostages.
They had been held in an apartment block inside Gaza, where Hamas had been trying to use neighboring areas as human shields. They are home. That's 2 more home, and another 134 to go.
60-year-old Fernando Simon Marman and 70-year-old Louis Har spent more than 4 months in captivity. Now reunited with their families.
Now they are a little thin, a different
They lost some weight.
They lost a little weight. They were in an inhuman situation.
The operation to rescue the hostages also resulted in the deaths of more than 100 people, according to the Palestinian Red Crescent Society, after the Israeli Air Force launched airstrikes for aerial cover. There is a growing concern over the operation in Rafah, now home to more than half of Gaza's population, with many displaced from other parts of Gaza and few places left to run.
There is nothing left. They destroyed these areas, as you can see yourself.
In Washington today, a meeting between President Biden and the King of Jordan, coming at a critical time in the war. Both leaders are expected to discuss efforts to support the Palestinian people and a vision for peace. Ivan Rodriguez, 5 on your side.
Tension between the U.S. and Israeli governments has grown in recent days. This comes as Israel prepares for that ground offensive into Rafah. President Biden voiced his concerns about the incursion to Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu during a recent phone call. The White House says Israel has an obligation to protect those trying to flee the fighting. Shots ring out at a megachurch in Texas. Almost 24 hours after the shooting, police have released the name of the woman they say started it all. President Trump stirs up a political storm on the campaign trail. The backlash he's facing over comments he made about NATO. And 5 on your side is celebrating Black History Month. You can join us for our Black History Month Shaping St. Louis event. It happens on the 22nd at the Missouri History Museum. Kelly Jackson and Brent Solomon will be there to moderate. Happy hour starts at 5. The program begins at 6:30. The event is free. No registration is required. And you can read more about Black history by texting the word history to 314-425-5355. We'll send you a link.